up, y'all? We're back with another episode of Brutally Simple Cooking, and today on the docket we got one of our all-time favorites. It's a goat cheese and bacon omelet. You've probably seen an omelet before, but just to explain what it is versus scrambled eggs, an omelet's going to be that thing that you see folded over. It usually has some other foods inside of it. The trick here is that fold. Now remember, what do we mean by brutally simple? We opt for simple, non-neurotic processes. We don't do things just because we're supposed to. Question it. We try to make it as simple as possible with the least steps possible. We're not weighing and measuring as much as possible. And that means our processes are brutally simple. That's right. Now, first step, mise en place. Pro tip! Make sure you have everything in its place before you start. It makes things a lot easier. So what we're going to do today is we're making a small omelet in a big skillet so I can see you how to use some masterful skills to make that omelet properly if you have a big skillet and you want a smaller omelet. Alright, so the first thing we've got is a safe, non-toxic, non-stick skillet. Pro tip! The only one we recommend right now is Scan Pan. Now, next thing we need is a spatula. Pro tip! You want something that's flat so that you can get up under that sucker and flip it. We've got our pre-scrambled eggs. 3 whole eggs and 3 egg yolks. Now, pro tip. The yolks are where all the nutrients are, so the more yolks you can use, the better. We've got pre-chopped bacon. Pro tip. Use about 3 pieces of bacon per omelet. And then we've got our pre-shredded goat cheese ready to go. Now to grease the skillet, we're going to use some good quality butter. And then for seasoning, we've got unrefined salt and some fresh pepper. So let us begin. All right, now first thing we're going to do is heat up this skillet. And I recommend going to something a little bit above medium, like that right there. Alright, next thing we're going to do is melt some butter. If I had to estimate, we're using a massive amount of butter here. I'd say about a teaspoon per egg or egg yolk. The butter is good for you, and the butter helps in the flipping and non-stick process. Alright? Now, pro tip! Butter's good for you. And the more yellow, the better it is. Alright, now we're going to pour the egg in. And since this egg does not fill up the entire skillet, what we're going to do is we're going to try to move the egg over to the side of the skillet that things seem to be leaning towards, okay? Now, as we're trying to move all this over to one side here, what we want with the rest of these eggs is we want these cooked. So it's okay to pull in from the side and let the liquid eggs come out to the edges here. Because what we want to do is we want to cook this whole thing evenly so that we have 100% cooked eggs by the time we flip it. Alright, now while we're letting the rest of that solidify, we'll go ahead and add some unrefined salt. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of pepper. Alright, now that it's nice and solidified, we're going to add our toppings to half of this sucker because we're going to flip the other half. Alright, now cool. Now that we've got everything nice and solidified, we're ready for the flip. Alright. Now for the flip, it's going to be easy because we got this smaller omelet that we're working with. So all we want to do is try to get this big fat spatula up underneath it and then turn it over just like that right there. We're going to let this cook for just a little bit on each side, maybe like 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, so now we're going to try to flip this over to the other side. Look how beautiful that is. Alright, now check out that gorgeousness. We're just going to serve this onto a plate. Let it rest. Look at that gorgeousness. If we cut this sucker open, we're going to see some beauty inside here. Look at that. All right, now we have the ultimate taste tester right here. Let's go. Genuine reaction.
Super good.
Oh my gosh. You know if she likes it, it's got to be good. Now I'm going to show you how to make an omelet when you use enough eggs to fill the entire skillet. Now we have a huge skillet. So we're doing an omelet here. We got 6 eggs and 6 egg yolks. Check it out. All right, we got the same thing going on. We got a nice clean skillet. We're going to melt a bunch of butter. Now we're going for the pour. Now the key here is the even cooking. So what we're doing is we're pulling those liquid eggs to the edge and trying to get every bit of that stuff cooked. Now as that's finishing up, we can go ahead and add our salt, pepper. Now that's nice and set, go ahead and add crumbled goat cheese. This is a 2 spatula job. Pro tip, you gotta have some good skills to use 2 spatulas. Boom! Did it. That requires some skills right there. Now we're going to let that cook on both sides. Oh, still works. Now, brutally simple means you may break a few eggs and also break your omelet. And it's all good because it's going to taste amazing. Look at that gorgeousness. Now, pro tip, to make an omelet, you don't have to be a chef. You just have to act like it.